New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is running for president. De Blasio is now the 24th Democrat and third sitting mayor to announce a presidential run. The Democratic National Committee has said that only 20 candidates will make the stage for the first set of debates next month. De Blasio has been involved in New York City government since the mid-'80s, but he's not exactly New Yorkers' first choice for president. A Quinnipiac poll last month found 76% of New York City voters think he shouldn't run. De Blasio was asked about the poll in an interview on ABC this morning.
So what should the rest of the country think when so many of your fellow New Yorkers are saying don't run?
You know, I got elected mayor by 73% of the vote originally, re-elected with 67% of the vote. I think you'd agree that the poll that actually matters is the election. So New Yorkers have twice said that they want me to lead them. And I think about polling in general, it's not where you start, it's where you end. So in the course of this campaign, we're going to talk about what working people need and how their government should be on their side. Right now, the federal government is not on the side of working people. And that's because Donald Trump is playing a big con on America. I call him Con Don. Every New Yorker knows he's a con artist. We know his tricks. We know his playbook. I know how to take him on. I've been watching him for decades. He's trying to convince working Americans he's on their side. It's been a lie from day one. So I believe I'll be able to show the kinds of things we have done here are what's needed all over this country so working people can live better.
And Caitlin Huey-Burns joins me now to break down de Blasio's announcement that he will be running for president. Caitlin is the CBSN political reporter. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. Where does de Blasio fit in ideologically in the long span of Democrats who now have their hats in the ring?
Yeah, we now have 24 Democrats running, so it's going to be a real struggle for us to remember all of their names. De Blasio entering today. In his announcement video today, he kind of had this Robin Hood-esque approach, saying that there's a lot of money in the world, there's a lot of money in this country, but it's in the wrong hands. And he spoke a lot about income inequality. He also spoke a lot about the president's immigration policies and how they had been affecting New Yorkers. The big question, though, is what is the real rationale for his candidacy, especially as a white man in this race where it already has a lot of them. It's the most crowded, most diverse field. He is well known, of course, in New York, but not very popular here either. So I think he's really going to have to try to make his case for running.
I'm glad you brought that up because the New York Post had a very humorous, headline this morning, a picture of a lot of New Yorkers laughing at Bill de Blasio's announcement that he's running for president. Why is he not so popular here in New York?
Well, he isn't popular here in New York for a variety of different reasons, for policy, also for personality. But what he's trying to say is that, look, I'm the mayor of the largest city in this country, 8.6 million people in New York City. Meanwhile, you have other mayors like Mayor Pete Buttigieg who are also trying to make the case, and they're coming from smaller areas. So he's kind of at this approach of why not me?
Right. I've got a bigger city than you two, so
exactly.
if you mayors can run, why not me?
Exactly. And he's also trying to position himself as someone who can take on Donald Trump directly, that they're both New Yorkers, and that's something that he talked about today.
It is interesting. He may have just launched his campaign, but he already has, I guess, 1% support in the polls, which is necessary, right? It's the threshold he has to reach to get to the debate stage. Yeah. How much room does he have, though, after that?
Well, he also has to show a grassroots donor network, which has been a real struggle for some of the more well-known candidates even to enter the debate stage. And the debate stage is really critical for any kind of underdog candidate, because that's your really big opportunity to make your case in front of that kind of audience and against the people you're competing against. And what else he's going to really struggle is kind of using his platform to tell a personal story. Yes, you have someone like Mayor Pete from a much smaller city, but he's been able to tell kind of a story of what his city of South Bend means to him and his kind of upbringing in politics. Same with, Governor Steve Bullock of Montana, who also isn't as well known and leads a state that has a much lower population. But he's been able to say, look, I come from a state like Montana. That's a red state. It's a state that Trump won, and I was also able to win it. So you've seen these candidates use their biography, use their demographics, use their geographical location to tell a story of their candidacy, and we'll see whether de Blasio is able to make that same case.
So, Caitlin, at this point, is there room for anyone else to enter the race?
Well, gosh, I hope not. There's enough to keep track of, and there's only so much room on the debate stage. I'm kind of trying to imagine all of these candidates flooding that stage. It seems like this is the end, but I'm never going to say never. You never know. But it is really adding some interesting pivot points or turning points in this campaign. When Joe Biden got in, we saw his poll numbers actually increase. And so you're seeing all these other candidates try to position themselves in this field, not only against each other, but now with someone who looks like a front runner.
No doubt that first debate will be very colorful. We will all be watching.
Yep.
All right, Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you so much for that.